Thanks for joining us, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Have you guys heard that there is a student loan crisis in America? Have you heard that? Well, there is, in case you hadn't heard. There's $1 trillion owed on student loans, and that is a crisis. And it's not for everyone, but it is for some of you. Some of you have really gotten yourself into a mess with these student loans. And so, occasionally we need to just stop and tap the brakes societally and look at something as a culture. Look at something. And that something is education. Let's start with the idea of this. Education is valuable. So long as what you are being valuable in terms of money, it makes you money. So long as what you're being educated in, someone in the culture cares about. And so getting absurd degrees, getting a PhD in German polka history, a useless degree, is useless. That's why we call it a useless degree, because it's useless. There's only one job you can get if you've got a PhD in German polka history, and that is to teach other people to get a degree in German polka history as a professor of German polka history. That is your only potential job. That's a fairly narrow job market, and since the number of universities offering a degree or classes in German polka history is fairly small, you're screwed. Now, I'm using that as a metaphor, but you know what I'm talking about. Stupid butt degrees that have no application in the marketplace whatsoever, and people spending money that they don't have on them. Now, let's start with this premise when it comes to education. All education is not smart. Well, there you go. Not all education is smart. Some people are stupid about education. Isn't that the paradox of the world? How many of you have met people who collect degrees like a thermometer, and yet they can't seem to make their way through the culture and make enough of a living to feed their own kids? And they got more letters and licenses after their name than anybody you've ever met. Now, we've met those people. We know they're out there. So we know that all education is not smart. So parents, here's the deal. You got a 17-year-old. You got a 16-year-old. You got an 18-year-old. You got a 19-year-old. You got a 20-year-old. Why don't you be a parent? Because you know what I'm saying is true. You know all education is not smart. So don't send them off to college to go, just get a degree in anything. Anything. Just get a degree. Because if you don't get a degree, we're all going to die, and you won't be able to make the money because you're not a college graduate. So just get a degree in anything. This is the way the culture sounds. It sounds like a beagle chasing a rabbit. It's ridiculous. You just got to get a degree. In what? Here's an idea. Be smart about it. Get a degree in something that matters. And I'm not going to make fun of a bunch of majors that are actual real majors, but you know what I'm talking about. It has to have application in the marketplace, or your education makes you look stupid. Isn't that an irony? When you walk in and you say, I got a degree in X, and immediately your face turns red, you know what I'm talking about. That's you I'm talking to. Don't let your kids do that stuff. Get a degree and learn get some knowledge in an area that actually has application in the marketplace, where the degree results in a better job. The degree results in a better quality of income, better ability to run your own business, better something. But a degree in German polka history is not smart. Now, if you have the money and you want to write a check and you've just always wanted to have a degree that was useless, and that's your hobby is doing that, that's fine. Pay cash for it. I don't care. And the same thing about where you go to school. Where you go to school is useless. Truly. No one. How many times you go into a doctor's office and you go, could I see where you went to diploma before you take my appendix out? I want to see your diploma where you went to school. Now, they might have it up on the wall where you can see it because they're proud of it. But generally speaking, they pass the medical boards. They're a practice. They have a practice open. They're a practicing professional. How many times you go in to hire a lawyer and you go, where'd you go to law school? How many times you done that? Like when you were getting your divorce, or when you were buying a house and you went in to close on the house, you ask the guy where he went to law school, the girl where she went to law school? No, you didn't. You don't have any idea. And let me tell you, 98% of the jobs in the U.S. and 98% of the career decisions in the U.S. have nothing to do with where you went to school. So take your prestige school idea and stick it in your ear. It doesn't work. It's a bunch of crap, y'all. It just does not work in the real world out here. Now, there's about 2% of the jobs that care if you went to Wharton, or they care if you went to Vanderbilt. They care. The rest of us, we don't care. I went to a state school. I went to the University of Tennessee. Graduated with a 4-year degree. And people that graduate from Vanderbilt work for me. So let's get this straight, folks. This is how this works. You know, you've got to be in control of this education mindset. Now, I am not against education. I'm against you going into debt for any kind of education, and I'm against you spending money that you believe you're getting a return on investment on ridiculous degrees at ridiculous universities that charge way too much, and you're not getting anything for the money you spend. If you want to spend money at a ridiculous institution, or you want to spend money at a ridiculous degree, as long as you have the money, that's your business. Go be stupid with the money. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. But quit borrowing money that is taxpayer funded to finance your stupidity. Don't be getting a degree in this stuff. I mean, it's absolutely nuts, you guys. You have to stop and think about this. You know, you really have to use some common sense in your decision-making paradigm. And most of all, you parents have got to coach your kids. You have to love your kids enough to coach them in what they're getting into. Article in Time magazine illustrating what I'm talking about today. Listen to some of the classes you can take at college now. Now, these aren't degrees. These are classes. But this is stuff that people are actually spending money on. Oh, by the way, borrowing money on their student loan to go to this. One class is called Politicizing Beyonce. This Rutgers Gender Studies class, introduced in 2010, aims to assess U.S. class, racial, gender, and sexual politics through the music and career of Beyonce. You've got to be kidding me. Zombies in popular media. This Columbia College Chicago course uses zombie movies and comics to explore societal issues like how people relate to and trust one another in times of need. Zombies. This class called The Joy of Garbage. The Santa Clara University class explores the science of decomposition, the eco-consequences of trash, and more. Field trips include landfills and sewage treatment plants. Your grandmother would be so proud. The Science of Harry Potter. This is a college class. This Frostburg State University science course answers physics questions with a nod to Hogwarts. For example, could genetic engineering actually create a three-headed dog? Things you need to know to be able to exist in the real world. Maple syrup, the real thing. Is this breaking you up? This Alfred University seminar explores the history and mechanics of maple syrup production. And yes, it also involves making and eating some sweet treats. Life-changing. This one I couldn't believe, but I read it all the way through. Underwater basket weaving. Have you ever heard of everybody taking that class? I've always heard of that class. I thought it was a mythical class. The old idiom for an easy elective is now an actual class, albeit a recreational, not for credit one, offered at schools like Reed and University of California, San Diego. Take a class. You can audit the class, underwater basket weaving. This is what education has been reduced to. So be careful out there, people. Stupid is in the land. And stupid will cause you pain. And being stupid about education is the ultimate paradox. Use your brain. Moms and dads, use your brain. Parent your kids. The answer is no. We're not spending money on that. No. I'll kill you. No. We're not going to do that. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.